From the preceding video, we have decided that we would like to place the incomes of our 1,500 respondents into 10 classes of income. The next question is, how wide should each of these 10 classes be? That is, how many incomes should fit into each of the 10 classes? We've previously said we can answer this question by finding the minimum, the maximum, and the range of incomes, and then dividing that range by the number of classes. Up on the command line, on the Analyze command, I choose from the pull-down menu Descriptive Statistics, and I'm going to choose the Frequencies command. Since the variable I'm recoding is income, I move it from the right panel to the left, and from the Statistics button I need the range, the minimum, and the maximum. In a subsequent video we will show how we use these other descriptive measures in describing our sample. We continue. There's no need to display the frequency tables, so I'll uncheck this box. I'll click OK, and here we see that the range of incomes is from $39.27 to $99,681. This is essentially a $100,000 spread. That is, the minimum income is, for all intents and purposes, zero, and the maximum income is, for all intents and purposes, $100,000. While most of us can do this in our heads, let's illustrate the process of dividing the range, 100,000, by the number of classes, and we see that each class is $10,000 wide. Now that we know how many classes and how wide each class should be, let's create our new recoded variable. We start on the command line at the transform command, and one of the options on the pull-down menu is recode. We're going to recode this variable into a different variable. Let me stress, always recode any data you have into a different variable. The reason: if you recode into the same variable, you lose the original data. You may want to refer to that original data later on, and if you recode those data into a new variable, into the same variable, then you will no longer have access to those original data. Hence, always recode into different variables. Okay, what I want to do is I want to take the variable income, move it from the left panel to the right. Now I'm going to generate an output variable, and remember, we only have to change one character in a variable name to create a new variable. I'm going to call this one income 1. And I'll also use that as a label. Now that I have indicated what the output variable is, now I want to indicate what are the old values and the new values. So I'm going to click this button, and here is the Recode into different variables window, and there are several range options. To begin with, we always start by choosing the range lowest through value, And in this case, we want the value to be $10,000. So here is our first class. Now, what that means is any income beginning at the lowest number up through 10,000 will now be placed in a new class. That new class will be identified as class 1. We add this to the old new panel and we proceed. All right, now, after we have chosen the range lowest through value, we choose the range option and we fill in the lower limit of each class through the upper limit of each class. The lower limit of our second class is $10,001 and the upper limit is $20,000. So that every income from $10,001 to $20,000 will now be placed in class 2. The lower limit of our next class is $20,001. The upper limit is $30,000. Every income in that range will now be placed in class 3. I'm going to proceed now without much narration because I think you sense the pattern. Now that we've reached the almost end of the set of classes, we created 9 classes, we now switch to the range value through highest option. And all this is going to do is start at $90,001. And we will place all of those incomes into class number 10. To repeat this last class will begin at $90,001 through the highest income, which we know is almost $100,000. So we'll add that. We have now indicated the existing or old incomes, the existing or old income classes and the new income classes into which these old incomes will be placed. We click continue. Now we need to instruct SPSS to make these changes. So we click the change button and now we click OK. And we have a new column headed Income 1. Let's create a frequency table for income 1. Analyze, descriptive statistics, frequencies. I'm going to move the original income out of the right panel. I'm going to put the new income 1 into the right panel. I don't want any statistics for the moment, so I'm going to eliminate range, minimum, and maximum. I do want the frequency table displayed, so I'll have to make sure this box is checked. I click OK, and here we have it. Here we have 10 classes. We know that each class is $10,000 wide. In a follow-up video, we will show how to change these class numbers to titles. So this will become 0 through 10,000. This will be 10,001 through 20,000. But right now, just notice it is a manageable table of 10 classes which accommodates all the incomes in the file, and then of course presents the percentage, the valid percent, the cumulative percent, which again will be explained subsequently. But recall, the procedure is transform, recode into different variable, and then you use the various range options when you make the change to indicate the upper and lower limits of each class in your new variable. We could do a similar procedure for any variable measured at the interval scale level. The researchers have already done that with the age variable. Each of these age categories represents a range of ages for which the recode command was used on the variable age. We'll also see in a subsequent video how collapsing an interval scale level variable into a smaller number of classes facilitates cross-tabulating that variable with either a nominal or an ordinal variable. That's it for this video.